Scanning for audio.
Hello, welcome to a Tin Dog podcast. This time, well, no more video. Not for a while anyway. It's business as usual, talking about proper audio adventures. Ah, yes. How I've missed this. Seriously, I have kind of missed talking about Big Finish. It's not that I've not been listening to it, it's just, well, you do seem to need to get your TV reviews out quite quickly these days. But you already know all that. So, what shall I talk about today? Well, let me see. I think the thing that I really need to talk about is the latest 9th Doctor Christopher Eccleston box. I know, this is box set number 3. Number 3. All under the collective title of Lost Warrior. Now, as usual, this is 3 distinctive stories. The guy's trying to get to one particular place in space and time, and manages it in story number 3, which is a nice overriding arc, but isn't really that important. They are 3 standalone stories. You've got The Hunting Season by James Kettle, The Curse of Lady Macbeth by Lizzie Hopley, The Monsters in Metropolis by John Dorney. This is also available as a triple LP gatefold, strictly limited to 1,000 copies. I'm not one of those people who are into vinyl in that kind of way, you know what I mean. Moving on. So I'll be quite happy with my nice downloads, because let's face it, one more box set and we've got more audio 9th Doctor with the original actor than we had on TV. Now that is going to be nice. Story number 1, The Hunting Season. Duberry Hall is under siege as aliens maraud through the estate. It's a frightful business. As Lord Hawthorn battles the Fleshkin, the Doctor finds new friends below stairs. Can he convince the household to unite to save itself? Now, as you know, I'm a big fan of any drama that has a lot to do with, well, class struggle. You know, you can't even take the boy out of the left wing, because that doesn't even make sense. But you know what I mean. It kind of is my wheelhouse politically. And it makes great drama. I've always loved Upstairs, Downstairs. Downton Abbey was never quite as good, but that kind of thing. I even loved House of Eliot. But that kind of thing really does appeal to me. And although he's a Time Lord, the 9th Doctor was all about working with people below stairs. If Rose was in this story, she'd be the one talking to the servants, because that was kind of a repeated, well, theme. I'm not going to use the word meme, but you know what I mean. It's class, it's people who are entitled, it's violence, and it's also very, very deep. It has echoes of the sort of thing that was in, well, a lot of these stories. In fact, they all feel very, very much like they were ripped off the TV. And that's always the best way to think of Big Finish. It's like Doctor Who's on in another room and you can hear it, but you just can't see it. Of course, visually this does work, because you're presented with a nice set of aliens on the moors, which just works beautifully. Story number 2, The Curse of Lady Macbeth by Lizzie Hopley, is, well, let's face it, this is a tremendously strong box set. I can't even choose a favourite. I suppose logically it should be for me the third one, but this one just spoke volumes. Here's the synopsis. The TARDIS is drawn to Scotland again, to the troubled Kingdom of Moray, and its Queen Gruach, or as the Doctor knows her better, Lady Macbeth. While some believe she's the cause of the people's woes, she may yet become their saviour. This is the historical celebrity. The celebrity historical? Yeah. It's usually the second story in a box set. Don't know why, it's just tradition. And it's cracking. For anyone who just knows about Lady Macbeth from Shakespeare, this is very, very different and very, very impressive. There's a load going on here where you're going, yeah, this person knows their history, but it doesn't get away of the pseudo-historical. You know, it's a historical setting, but there's clearly aliens going on. And it's dark, and it's got violence, and it's got so much atmosphere. Seriously, it's tremendously well structured and feels as if it was recorded in 2005, only with 2021 effects. The final story, well, let's face it, for anyone who knows anything about the history of science fiction, Metropolis is the equivalent of, well, reading Frankenstein when it comes to movies. Berlin, 1927. The making of a science fiction legend. But death stalks the film set, and history is not what the Doctor expects it to be. And this new machine man is a more terrifying version of humanity's future than Fritz Lang had in mind. So, on the front of the box, there's a picture of a Cyberman. One of the redesigned Ninth Doctor Cybermen. God, they're gorgeous. And I personally love Metropolis. It's just a no-brainer, and the fact that it's not been done before is just mental. We're nearly 60 years into Doctor Who history and nobody's gone, Metropolis, Cyberman, Metropolis, yeah. Now I know there's a whole Nazi Party, Thea von Horbra thing that's kind of not really gone into while this storyline's happening, because let's not muddy the waters with the Nazi Party, because that is covered here. The rise of Nazism and Mein Kampf also, well, being around at the same time. But that's the future. That's the darker side of Berlin that's coming. Within 10 years, there's going to be a terrible place. But this is the 1920s of cabaret. This is the 1920s of, well, fairly intense filmmaking that will almost completely bankrupt everything. I do know quite a lot about German expressionist cinema, and most of it comes from most of it was spawned from my love of this particular movie. The lighting, the angles. Without movies like this, and without Fritz Lang specifically, we wouldn't have film noir, the stark lighting of black and white movies, which gives way eventually to all sorts of movements in film. That's where we're at, and that's fine. So, is this a box set worthy? Yes, it is. And I, for one, can't wait for the next one. So until next time, be seeing you.
From Big Finish Productions, Doctor Who, The Ninth Doctor Adventures, Lost Warriors.
They're back. Give it up! Give it up to us! Give it up that we might be satisfied.
Do you suppose it's safe to be out of doors?
Safe now, I should think. They only seem to come out at night.
The stranger stared at the sheriff.
What? 1925? Come on, I can't be far out. Look at the state of you.
Look at the state of us.
1925?
Why do you keep saying that?
I want to talk about your butler. Stratton.
Something moves in the mist. Don't look at it.
Hello, ladies.
What now?
I do beg your pardon.
I am Queen Gruach.
Oh, you're much more than that. You're Lady Macbeth.
Tell this demon to leave our home.
Hashtag.
Tell him to get out of here.
Well, we've attracted an audience. The pitchfork kind.
I'm not afraid of you, blue man. I know what you bring, and I know your limits.
Oh, I'm glad someone does. And the doctor.
Doctor.
Yeah, now, stand still, cause if that thing turns nasty, I don't want it to take your feet off.
And lights. Roll camera. Action. Actors, go!
Look at it, the pinnacle of silent film.
As opposed to what other sort?
Your machine man. I need it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Herr Lang, I promise you will not regret this.
You're making Metropolis.
Of course. Everyone knows this.
Fantastic.
Fritz Lang. Actual Fritz Lang.
I've got a knack. I'm good with lost things.
I'm sure you are.
Lovely and shiny.
You'll wear men like us. Good God. Killer Fritz.
Big Finish. We love stories.
That was the Tin Dog Podcast. Available on Spotify, iTunes, Acast, Stitcher, and wherever good podcasts are found. Get early access to content by subscribing to the Tin Dog Podcast YouTube channel. You can support the show at patreon.com/tindog. Contact the show on Twitter at tindogpodcast or email tin-dog@hotmail.co.uk. All of the things discussed are the intellectual property of others. No infringement is intended. The Tin Dog Podcast is a founder member of the Doctor Who Podcast Alliance.